There you go.
Well, that's good. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Old business. Discuss council person candidates and make a decision. We interviewed them. We had 3 pending contestants, Arshia, Julia, and Aditi. I'm not going to try the last name. But what is council's thoughts?
They were all really good. I tend to lean toward the senior just because the juniors would have another chance to apply next year, but I'm not sure that I feel that way.
It's kind of been a past council practice, although it doesn't have to be that.
They towards and that was
The senior.
the senior.
But I don't necessarily feel that way this time. I don't know. They were all really good.
You good with me here, or you prefer it would be easier for you to make this decision if I'm gone?
Yeah, maybe you want to step out,
A quick sequester.
even though it's not a direct ethics.
No, but it's an issue. It makes it a little easier.
There you go.
Is the discussion, Andy, where's the discussion? Was it out there too? Sure.
Can we hear out in the meeting room what we're discussing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I can mute everything.
I mean, it's gonna be online.
Right, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the council president's request, the further deliberation regarding eligibility for the candidates was muted. We will pick up with a slight time index jump when the president asks to go back on the record.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back toward the bag.
I just don't.
She like walked up the ramp and then turned back around.
Right, she walked in and turned around.
Jacket and bag were on the chair and she was heading towards them. But I didn't say anything. I figured she was going out there to sit.
I asked her if she was here for the meeting, and she said something, but I couldn't recognize what she said, and she kept walking through the rep, and back here. And she's gone. But she yelled something.
Church, right, church, yeah. She yelled church is what we heard.
Church.
And there has been incidents of people standing up
Yes.
in recent times.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. St. John Newman and some other churches around too, so they be related. Yeah.
Lieutenant.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Sam's got it.
Yeah. All right, urban gutter program and roads to be paid in 2023.
Curb and gutter, happy response regarding cancellation of the rest of the curb and gutter contract. They estimated their damages at $50,000. They expect that compensation to end the contract.
Total contract.
They're into it for
13,000, I think the check they did for almost 13,000 the check was just.
Yeah, a little shy of 13.
So we're talking about 63-ish total, as opposed to 185, whatever.
Right, and then we're gonna get our long-term savings by going to our new style of.
I think it's, if you get anything out of that 50, we're just saying that, but yeah, that's.
I would say there should be some back and forth. I think Mass would be involved in the process, possibly with whatever they decide to do.
At this point, there's many people who what they're trying to estimate the some of the food bid and then.
Walk away from any other jobs. They
Yeah.
So that it's the
I think
opportunity.
it's just an estimate they gave Sean over the phone, and I think it needs to be negotiated.
Yeah, it's an opportunity cost. We're not sure exactly.
That's exactly.
Were they seem relatively amenable, Sean, or were they angry?
Not angry. He was concerned at other work that they could have accumulated to bid on that sort of thing.
Right.
That's fair.
Conversation started there, and it was all good positive conversation. It wasn't like, aggression or anger, but, tell the, he wasn't willing to just give it up.
Sure.
With the office.
I don't think there's a.
He was talking about materials purchased to the things that they purchased.
And frankly, even if they were happy to walk away.
Well, they do have some overhead in bonds, that sort of thing. I don't know that that's all of the 50,000. Sure. I think a lot of that is, you know, perceived, not perceived, but lost opportunity. So maybe we're in a discussion, but that was his number for a starting point to.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
Given the general state of affairs, they'll probably be able to make a good portion of it up, but still, it seems like a fair thing to
Actually,
do.
then they want to do that.
To them, right?
Yes,
Has he provided his performance and payment bond already, or is it just a bid bond?
No, all of the bond, performance payment and maintenance are provided.
There is a cost to purchase those. The bid bond certainly is not a cost to purchase. There is a cost.
They're like 10%.
all right.
I would just have them itemized what is direct. Like, all you can do is back what you're direct. What the itemized the loss. I have one question on this, though. I know that this came up 2 weeks ago when I was joining the meeting on Zoom. We talked about this. Talked about Deerfield and.
Bliss is done already. Yeah.
But Bliss is done,
Right,
it's already.
and I saw that, we confirmed that. The one I had, and obviously the initial one, Deerfield, Startle Ridge hasn't started.
Right, they're good.
What I had concerns about was Deerfield splitting it up and having half of the one way and half the other.
They have phase two, that is still need to do.
I'm not sure that I.
Man, we get a hold of him, so change your mind, that's fine.
I wasn't sure.
Again, if we have them do concrete turn the rest of the way, that becomes our liability.
Understand.
Sure, it's an investment long term we're gonna have to deal with instead of cut our losses. Yeah. I'm kind of for fun. There's lots of developments.
Well,
That happens in every community where already.
That's true.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's just,
That's true. And I don't even know.
yeah.
Give them the options and they say, well,
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say like phase two, I think there's like it's big clear areas, so it's not like the street halfway and then we start the next part of the street, like there's natural like delineation.
Yeah. It's better than the patches.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. That's just terrible.
And I no longer will be able to tell my friends who live right over the line, you can tell when you're in Franklin Park. It's okay.
Gary, as far as roads to pave this year,
Well, we have, Royal was scheduled to be one of the ones that was paved. Royal Oak has about probably 11 and 1,200 feet of curb that we were gonna repair. That was one of our big jobs. The other one we have would be, Starbridge Plan, which is Brimfield Court. There's a couple, streets in Starbridge there. That's where probably 3/4 of the concrete curb was already repaired. There's one section on Starbridge. If you're going up Starbridge, there's one area that wasn't done. They did some final cutting with those saw blades up in there, but they never removed the old curb, so. It's just a small section. Wasn't finished, so anything we can do there is just go in there and we have to, pave the street the way it is. Say, other than that, if we wanna, with, roll, that area towards Square Ridge or, if we wanted to put that off as one of the streets that, one of the plans that we possibly pull the codes on next year. We do that and then maybe move to another area, another street, some other place to,
a good street that doesn't have.
we put down
this
as
year
you
and then
understand,
the
or
rest of
some
the
of these, some of these, couple other spots, you know, we can pick up some of the streets and
And
give us footage.
by that time, maybe. Basically, he's done with this.
Okay. So,
Here, I'll come back with the recommendation and council on what streets we will do instead of Royal Road. Our range problem this year.
And I'm to work with Sean and continue these discussions.
Yes, we continue these discussions and sort that out.
Right,
Is that okay, Gary? And and some new plans?
no, it'll work any, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, trying to figure out what other streets we want to do. There's plenty out there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we got a lot of roads we can do, you know, it's,
yeah.
it's just taking a choice on some of the ones that, you know, if they have curbs on them, we gotta look at the idea, you know, on, you know, the condition of curbs, whether, you know, we can buy another, probably 12, 15 years, because that's, you know, the area that's, you know, what it's gonna take, you know, we pay the roads, we hope to get probably 12, 15 years out of them when we pay them, so. It's just a matter of finding something that we can say that we can, you know, do all this.
Thanks for being flexible.
Being on Summerfield.
Summerfields, the vacant lot, they're going to have their builder install their sidewalk. That's in Mr. Morrison and Ms. Augustine. They expect to start construction in July. Last year, the Marilillos reached out to Mr. Morse and asked if it would be possible to have his builder also do their sidewalk. So I reached out to them this year. I provided them with the information I had on what the approximate cost would be for our contractor to do it. And they have opted to go, if we permit, with the builder installing their sidewalk as well, once the house is complete. So our contractor would be doing the two end lots that are our responsibility. And then 3 of the Summer Fields lots. The 3 leading up to EMS Lane.
We still have some money held from the developer for, and you'll see on the agenda, and we'll go over in a bit, a motion to award those alternates, likely next month or when they're coming up to a change order to address once they're finalized, and they know those other 2 are not part of the project. Right.
One question I had, do we want the Marilillos to provide us with a signed agreement with the builder? Or are we okay just saying, I mean, if they don't end up doing it, they're gonna pay a whole lot more because we're gonna have to hire somebody else just to do their sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think we're okay with letting them go.
I mean, if we have an email from them or
Yeah.
something like that, yeah, at least something to go on, but
Okay. All right,
to them or into their involved.
we'll move forward with that and try to get it done. That's it.
Back. The June 21st regular meeting agenda.
All right, not many changes from the work session, so no public hearings or otherwise. You can see we did add 2 motions here at the end. One regarding Montgomery Road. But I think on my solicitor's report, I switched, I put Montgomery Road that we've been working on together. I guess they're
You're close to each other.
close to each other, and sometimes we can switch. Montgomery is another long-term project that,
Yeah, we applied last year for funding and we were turned down. We're hoping that this year, since it's the only application we're submitting, and that there are generally going to be fewer applications because those people, I think, have very much for work on this.
house.
So we have a better shot at getting that grant.
In the year.
Motion 12, as we just mentioned, are the sidewalks in Summerfields. In terms of other items, we have been in touch with the Deerfield Estates developer in terms of their addendum. Agreed to increase their financial security. Just sent that off to them to sign by June 30th. In accordance with their extension letter from back in May. We've talked with the chief a bit about the Civil Service Commission. Recommendation to see motion 8, repopulate or restart the eligibility list.
Nothing on application requirements yet, Sam.
We've drafted something. So the short of it is we're proposing what the state police's standard is. Hoping to get a larger candidate pool. And I will have something ready for the packet It's coming up for the next work session.
And the other question was on Bliss. They seem to get their bond amount wrong, Sean, or did they forgot about the increase when they were requesting the lease?
They got the increases in, but they overestimated.
And this was to adjust for the contingency budget increase. The other increases are included in this number, so this will kind of rectify all of that before and set the new number. And then the other difference is, items they requested were for installation of sidewalks, or our sidewalks installed. We gave a different measurement than what they had. They requested more than were installed. And the other item was for as-built plans. The as-built to be submitted to the borough for the storm sewers. As-built to be submitted did not include that information. So we issued a separate comment letter on that. We would recommend that bond item be held until those items are satisfied.
Did you want to mention that motion? The title. The motion.
Building inspection zone.
No. We actually, when we advertised, the position downstairs as, zoning secretary, we only had, I think, 5 applications. So Cindy changed it to zoning administrator, which is more in line with kind of keeping that office ticking, moving forward. So we want to change the title formally to administrator, and that's
The building inspections and administrative.
correct.
We get on and read that one.
Did she actually work today? Did she actually work today?
Yeah, she's coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow, day too. So
I don't, keep my fingers crossed.
we feel confident.
It's the third day you have to worry about it.
She doesn't know how to use computer.
Okay, anything else on the agenda? We have any special plans for publication of mission statement?
We're just gonna slap it on our website and our Facebook page, I guess.
We blasted out too.
A few that get our blast, we can blast it out and, yeah, whatever.
We read it at the bicentennial. It's over the bike.
Every need.
All right, good. Right along. Volunteer projects and development.
There are a number of volunteer projects that are underway right now. I'll inform you of more details on the rest of them July 5th. We have 3 Girl Scout projects, 1 Boy Scout project, and 1 Garden Club project that we're looking at right now. Specifically, one of the Girl Scout project is a Silver Award, a little library that they renovated. And it's actually out in front of the borough building right now. That's a temporary spot for it. Ultimately, it'll go to Old Orchard Park, and again, I'll have more details for that July 5th. But right now, on June 28th at 2 o'clock, they're planning kind of a small dedication ceremony. They're inviting some of the Girl Scouts to come, and if any dignitaries would like to come as well, they'd like to know so they know how much lemonade and cookies they have. So they'd like to do a little dedication and then actually go on a tour with Mayor and Donna Platt of this building and the Public Works building. Specifically, they have an interest in meeting women in government and talk to them about their role. So June 28th at 2 o'clock, it's a Wednesday. Let me know if you're able to attend, and I'll let them know if they have enough.
Good. That's the in the park. Tom, you raised the issue about
Yeah, we were starting to field some questions from, not just, the Franklin Park races, but the North Ellington School Board races, and some of the candidates that approached. Several of us and said, what can we do there? as everyone knows, we used to have booths there that they could rent, what we charge $50 for the booth or whatever it was. They could man that booth and people could stop by if they wanted. There's a lot of booths that we were doing. And then the decision was made to just forego that 5-6 years ago, something like that. Since I've been on council. So some of the candidates, since it is open to the public, anybody can literally walk through. We're trying to we're trying to give some guidelines so that we don't get any of the candidates creating an uncomfortable situation for people not there. They're not there to hear that. It's not why they're coming. You don't want it to be even viewed as a political event, but I know 2 years ago there was a fair amount of political activity at the festival, not last year so much, but 2 years ago. And I just thought, well, did we ever put anything into writing what the rules were? I don't think so. I think it was a lot of it was verbal, but if there is something in writing, I would like to share that.
Was, more of a letter that I think Ambrose sent to the parties about just no booth activity or anything. And it was, a long discussion, and we're dealing with poor First Amendment speech, and it was sort of just an agreement that everybody would do it that way. And there have been, not so much situations, but if a candidate comes and has their T-shirt on and hands out buttons or anything like that, they're not renting a booth. But it was just sort of a truce that was called that people said. So I think we do have at least the letter that went out when it first became an issue. Somewhere in a
There
meeting.
definitely is a letter.
Yeah.
I think maybe we even issued one of your first.
Yeah, it's right around the time I was hired. Yeah, I believe there was a candidate in the festival in 2019 who was walking around giving out balloons
and stuff.
kind of over the top. So some folks approached council and said, "Could we please eliminate politics at the festival?" And council agreed. Since then, we've had, I think, a hard
Right, yeah.
things that
It was
really weren't
definitely
appropriate
more
because
increase for that.
the effort was to try to just make it a family event celebrating the borough and not political activity. I can't tell you in McCandless, they give each party a booth. And that's how they do it. And if you want to talk to people about your candidacy, you do have that booth.
That's what we.
But Franklin Park, the idea was to eliminate all.
The problem is, we raised this too, it's a public forum, and it's public
Well,
forum.
it's not a forum,
Yeah.
it's so much as it's an event, and it's open to the public, and somebody can come in. And yeah, I don't think we've ever escorted somebody out because they wore a T-shirt or thing, but there was a.
And you're skirting with disaster with First Amendment rights.
Putting a form, yeah, it was. We had McCandless, well, I think a lot of them is just let them rent a table like.
Because
everybody
that's where
else
they
can
are,
do,
their
and-
activities.
Yeah, I'm not
there.
sure.
But I don't think we even.
Right?
Pretty
Pretty
too late
sure.
for this year.
Yeah.
But
No, I think it is because then the folks that complained and said they were over the top wandering around doing that sort of thing. It's not anymore. You go visit that booth if you want to talk to somebody.
Well, I don't know if the booths got taken away because people were getting outside of the booth. I forget what
Fair enough.
the reason was. but-
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Just in side discussion, my understanding was that it was a specific candidate that was just. Yeah, just out there. I mean, had candidate had the family out there running around giving people balloons, kind of in your face.
So would it make sense to pull that old letter and revise it and send it out?
To both parties.
To both parties.
And if council wants to consider having each party gets to rent a booth.
Bring it
for
back.
next year,
There's a
think about
possibility,
doing
right?
yeah, and if we could keep all political activity close to the booth.
And the canvas, that's generally the way it worked. People went to that booth, but they wanted to talk to them. There wasn't actually, there was circulating.
So what do you do about the government officials, like, let's say Lindsey Williams, or all the folks that want to wander around? That because it's a community, is that the same? Is it different? What's the distinction?
In the canvas, they generally wanted their parties to.
Uh-huh.
Pretty good about that. If you talk to them about friends and listen, this is the kind of the way we're doing it. And
That makes
they're
sense.
fairly respectful.
I think having a booth and limiting and asking them to please keep it in that booth might be better because then only people that want to find out information need to go there and they're not going to be approached as they're walking around enjoying the rest of the
Yeah,
activity.
you can avoid it entirely if you want.
Obviously, it's too late for this year, but if we do have a letter, if you could get that to me, Reed, and maybe Brian, you can share that with your party. I'll share that with.
I think what prompted this historically was the fact that the borough had a booth. And at the time they had a booth, I think it was all Republicans that were on the borough council. And there was a concern by the Democratic Party that in fact they didn't have a booth. The Republicans did. So I think that's why the booth thing disappeared. I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty sure that's actually what happened.
I'm trying to recall all that from the, can't quite
Yeah.
get it all.
I think that's what happened in general, and so we just said, well, nobody's gonna have a booth. So that's created its own little whirlwind of confusion, I guess, but,
I remember like the state people, some of the state people even had.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, I know Representative Kurzweil had a booth. For
Yeah.
quite a few years.
Yeah.
And that was separate from the committee. or the-
Right.
I think we should revisit it so that I don't go there to, you know, a lot of people don't want to be a person there with the family. But some do, they might see it, it would be nice to meet that person.
Well, Luke and I just direct traffic.
Yeah. You're right, you could point to the representatives and senators to particular nights where they could be their constituents, they could participate in the way they want to participate, and yeah, it's probably.
Rather than being in the.
It's not in your face.
No, then.
Yeah, there are a lot of candidates to use, especially the Pride Day.
Well, I just remember the illegally parked vehicle that was the train wreck.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't do
Yeah.
it, it was a mess.
Well, is it too late to send out the letter? I'm not sure.
I think we get it to the candidates.
They haven't signed up for booths.
No, there's no. booths
Yeah, we can't
available.
do these.
Yeah, right, okay, so let's find the letter.
Refresher,
Send it out.
a handshake agreement.
We'll do that.
So,
Yeah.
so just be clear, they should not be handing stuff out.
It should not be like.
Yeah,
There should be a
candidates or
person
whatever should not be,
throwing brochures
Yeah.
to people.
yeah, exactly, or giving out candy or.
And
No, that's right.
t-shirts.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, is, I mean, there was definitely giving stuff out last time. Towards the end, I don't think anybody else, I remember like that. Necklaces and some other projects and stuff. I mean, I don't know where the line is.
That was previously discussed, like they could walk around and talk to people,
Right,
but
more like let people approach.
that was it, not giving things out.
Wear your t-shirt with
Yes.
your name on it.
I think there was t-shirts being given out before and it's
Oh, yes, right.
just too much, too aggressive.
So not giving anything out.
So don't send a group of people out wearing a t-shirt to.
Yeah, don't be aggressive, yeah.
If you want to wear your own t-shirt, whatever.
Well, they can wear the t-shirt and just.
Just not be giving stuff out. Like a car with the advertisement driving through the town.
Don't run a plane with a band.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
I mean, yeah, why don't we get something that we can share with the community?
Good.
I mean, because it's gonna be, we're gonna ask the candidate, and we could probably, like you said, there is First Amendment right.
Yeah, that's all you can
You gotta be careful.
But I don't think it's appropriate to be in any space there
No.
for that kind of, that day. Not why, that's not why people come. But some people just may want information, so it's sort of a church for people to be there, just in an orderly fashion.
While we're, go ahead, Jenny.
I was gonna say, and then for next year, this will be,
Yeah,
you can put booth away.
we could put, you can stay at the log house.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it doesn't have to be front and center, maybe for other ways.
Down over the hill.
Up at the house.
While we're on the festival, is there any last minute things we need to deal with from a council standpoint? I know the fire company is gonna be talking about it tomorrow night. I don't plans there, but we
Yeah,
good as far as you're concerned?
what we're gonna be running some bus transportation. From where? I'm getting questions, but I'm sure.
The Barrel Family YMCA and Franklin Elementary School.
One other development, the fire chief suggested we not allow people to come in at the bottom entrance during the festival hours. Send them all to Memphis, and I think we're pretty much agreed on that as well, so everybody should be entering from Memphis.
McDivitt, well, nobody can come in from McDivitt, both sides, McAleer and Rochester, or Nicholson Road. We'll put horses up, we have signs that say not a festival entrance, we'll have them tomorrow, I believe. All we can do is tell them though, are we still gonna have people that push through? Absolutely. But what we're trying to accomplish is parking the Blueberry from front to back, the lots. So that we know when we're out of room, that way we can push up to the front to explain that this lot is full and start kicking them to the transportation lots, shuttle, the satellite lots. Because those satellite lots don't open until 5, but we've not parked. The park itself hasn't filled by 5 o'clock, and we're a little more on it this year with making temporary spots. So we're going to have more parking in Blueberry than we've ever had. And so we won't be parked by 5 o'clock. And the thought, what we've been told is that obviously we're going to have a heavier push later at night when River City is there. So those lots will be open for River City. That's what, when we should really see the transportation crunch come in.
I recall from previous years that people do come with their dogs and leashes.
We do not. We don't want them there.
That's a tough one to control.
Right.
So then, when I'm just thinking about if they end up parking at the YMCA or Franklin Elementary, then they'll be getting on the bus with the dog. I'm just throwing it up.
I mean, transportation company can absolutely deny them.
Yeah.
We can tell them to deny them. I mean, a service, that's, that's not all I see.
So if they have a dog, they have to park.
If they have a dog, they should not bring. Would be my answer.
I just recall seeing them there
Yeah, right.
They do.
Every year.
And that's,
every year.
like you said, and that's the problem. It's
Not a lot I've seen, but they're there. Yeah.
we do not encourage.
Yard waste is gonna be a parking area,
Which will be shut down tomorrow at noon.
right, and it's gonna be. You're not gonna stripe it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They're gonna stripe it, really.
They're gonna strike both of those, and they're gonna strike where the leaf dump is now, they're gonna strike.
Okay,
spaces in
oh,
there.
okay, great,
So you guys gonna be parking people?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, reports. Brian,
This I heard from my wife, that there's some concern about the bears that have been seen, or the bear at Old Orchard Park. I don't know what can be done about it, but I promised I would raise the issue because a bunch of people came up to her and said, what are we gonna do about the bears?
It is definitely all over Facebook.
Yes, so. it's-
yeah, and it's right close to my home.
Yeah,
In
I mean-
fact, it went through his backyard. Rosa's backyard.
Yeah, I also thought about that.
Detracted by pickleball sounds.
Way to go, Sam.
It's attracted by pickleball.
Funny, no, we haven't got any reports since that bear got.
Yeah.
There's been no pickleball reports.
I know that Ross Township had several sightings, it's probably the same bear, and they've been in communication with the game commission. And that's generally the protocol. We had the sighting over the weekend that made a big splash on Facebook, but since then it's been further down in Ross Township. So like I said, the game commission's been notified on that. If it comes up this way, then we'll notify them this day.
I did get a call saying I saw a bear and I said, "Quick, dial 911, report it, that's what you can do."
We think it's just one.
Yeah, that's generally. They roam this time of year.
That's it for me there.
We're going rural again. We've taken their playground.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think?
Now I was just gonna go there as well.
I'm good.
Dennis, okay. Ava. Don Lee.
Also, I have noticed that today, I haven't seen like so many deer in my backyard. So is there anything like going on and to stop the deer just like walking around or something? All that, yeah, it is one of the, reason that I don't think about this. Is there anything like it's because that something happened or?
Not that I know of.
Just the
It's
change in
been
weather.
dry.
The change in weather can change
Yeah,
their,
it's
their
been
habits.
dry, so they're wondering. I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. There are sometimes the residents will come to me and complain like that, but recently nobody, has said anything about the deer. So I was like, I'm wondering what happened and if this something like will be like this, and that will be good news, for everybody.
Could be the herd we bring it in-house.
Yeah.
They went to
High
wherever,
tail, yeah.
Oh,
wherever Spartan White does.
Oh, yeah. They
Not
got
that
messy.
okay, yeah, that's it, thanks.
Tom. Luke. Nothing for me. So
Yeah, we do have an exec session.
We do, okay. All right, we've got 15 minutes. So, go quick.
See you later.
Just one thing too, not for council meeting, but I just wanted to address that woman who came in.
Yeah.
No. So she's known to the police department and known to Nick. She has issues with the local churches.
Yep.
We've